So the garden, of course, changes a lot throughout the year. Right now it's early and things are just getting started. But I thought just to document things and to share and show you guys, you know, kind of where we're starting this year, I'd give a quick tour. Now I do got some stuff going on inside the house that'll be moving out here shortly. I'll show you a little bit of that quick and then get started out here. So inside, I've got some growing here in the laundry room. And all these seedlings here starting up. And all these seedlings here. Some of these are pretty tall. Maybe 12 or 14 inch tomato plants and stuff. All these seedlings in my bathroom with the trees I lifted, tamarillos mostly, naranjilla as well. Got a number of things going on here, and soon they'll all be outside as well. So out here, got a number of things going on then. Jerusalem artichokes and peas are planted along the outside. All around that tree, we're going to be doing some stuff, and we also cleaned up around this tree to have a little raised bed there too. So here at the house site, because we were either going to add on to the mobile home or build, and originally we were planning on building, but went with the mobile home. But this whole area here is regrowing, and we don't want that. So to suppress the stuff around here, I'm just going to take it down to ground level and then add a layer of mulch to keep it covered. And these raised beds here will be to plant like pie pumpkins and watermelons and Tommy melons and Kahari melons, just some ones that won't, maybe Zucca gourds back over there. Some ones that won't cross-pollinate, but that'll be able to come out of these and spread across these areas just to allow us more growing space. So then as we head up towards the garden, we've got what I call my drive-through, which you can drive all the way up to the garden, circle around and come right back, which makes it easy with the trailer. And there's been a number of perennials that we've been putting in to kind of, you know, do the effort once and let them come back for years to come. A lot of them are easy to propagate, which is cool, because then I can make more, share, potentially sell, all sorts of stuff, barter, trade, which is good. And a couple of them have impressed me just because I wasn't sure if they were going to make it, but check this out. So here, to start with, I had this elderberry last year. It was growing and it died back, but I left it in and now it's got 3 new sprouts, so it's coming back. And this whole stretch up here to the right side of the driveway is just going to be perennials. So another elderberry here that died back last year, and then we've got a red mulberry here, and then a lot of this. Oh cool, this guy came back too. I did plant some raspberries down there. Looks like they actually are coming back from the roots. Exciting, exciting. But then a lot of this is just going to be pawpaws in the back row with some stuff in the front. Pawpaw. So elderberry growing here under the tree. American gooseberry. And then here we're just going to kind of alternate American gooseberry, American beautyberry, American gooseberry, American beautyberry across this section, with pawpaws growing in the back. And then I planted some garlics too. So these are the wild garlics, which will naturalize really nice in here underneath the pawpaws, and then maybe keep some of the moles or other things away a little better. This is the centerpiece of the drive-through. It'll go around and this whole thing will be tamed. It was just greenbrier and poison ivy and all sorts of nasty stuff. So we're just gonna kind of phase it out and plant stuff that makes more sense. This is a bed of yarrow I seeded last fall. We're looking to see how that does when it wakes up in the spring. But I did transplant one into it that's spreading and doing well as well. So we already got some yarrow growing. And then in here is just going to be fruit trees at the top level. But I'm going to use a number of edible ground covers like this Creeping Charlie. So I'm thinking Creeping Charlie, purple dead nettle, henbit, chickweed, a bunch of stuff in here that's known to spread, but it won't be able to really cross the driveway, I think, so it'll be a good way to contain it. And I do have wild garlic planted around the fruit trees too. And then 2 apple trees here and a plum cotton back. So these guys will come up and just kind of be pruned like lollipops, where you're able just to kind of come in at that height. And of course there's different ways to prune different trees, but I mean they're going to be accessible with your hand. You're not going to be climbing on ladders to do it. So we're going to let this kind of fill in with food. And then heading up to the real garden, I might do some modification of the garden too. It may be as you pull up that there's just a green wall of food with a couple archways that are green to walk into the garden. I'm not sure. It'll give it a cool feel and vibe and effect. It'll be some work because I didn't plan that way ahead of time, but we'll see. Here's one of my raised beds in the center there, St. John's wort, and these are actually some garlics from Mexico with some of the wild garlic as well around here for right now. And then all these raised beds, part of my winter covering thing, I planted some winter rye and some Austrian winter peas and mulched it, so just kind of kept it covered for the winter. They'll be ready to plant in shortly here for most of them. But all these raised beds I had to build one at a time last year. I plant something, I need another one, so I'd go make another one, plant another one, and all the way through. This year I'm starting off with 40 some of them. Very exciting. Here's one of my perennial ones. This is the hops. They run up wires to a chain between the trees. Hops are most commonly used for home brew, if you're brewing beer, but you can actually eat these sprouts. Here they're coming pretty good, a number of them here. Looks like one of the guys on the end is waking up too. Yeah. Another, and I've got some Cascade, some Chinook, some Sterling. I'd have to look at all the varieties again. More hops here. So, one of the perennial ones. Heading through here, I got some of my Wando peas sprouting up there. There's Korean goji berries on that line. The other ones here are ready to go when I need to plant. Here's where we did like our Ruth Stout tomatoes, where we just laid them down and then covered them. They're in this section. Then we've got a lot of lemon balm out here with some chives. One of my favorite plants, especially in the wild, is stinging nettle. So I've got stinging nettle planted in this corner. Very useful plant, very cool. A lot of people don't like it. I absolutely love it. So it's spreading and doing really well. If it spreads out into the pasture, sheep and goats and things can eat it. If it stays here, we can use it. If it starts spreading this way, I'll rip up the rhizomes and move them to a different location or continue to use them and eat them. Horseradish coming in here. So we've got 3 horseradishes at the moment along our perimeter garden here. And I'm going to put this fence back between the pasture and the garden. But I've got a couple reasons I opened this up, and I'm going to redo some of it. Also building a hugel mound. We got a video coming out on that soon enough. Going to have a couple of those on the property. Here we've got our Yasta berries. These guys cross between the currant and gooseberry. There's 3 of those here with I think an aronia and a wild plum, which I'll be grafting something else into. Next bed over is more perennials. Aronia in the center. Got some walking onions around it. This is one of the currant kinds. We've got red, white, and black. And then on this wall is going to be mostly berries. There's a couple of big red mulberry plants that I'll be pruning. And then these are the yellow raspberries we got from Shalom Acres, and they are spreading excellently. They're popping up all over the place. They spread out this way, I'll lift them. They continue to fill this in, that'll be absolutely fine. So looking forward to that. They did amazing for us. I've still got to weed and mulch some of this in preparation for spring. Summer almost now, but spring just started, so we'll get it ready. Here's a bed of strawberries we got from Shalom Acres. They were producing within a month or two. They're very cool. More, I think, wild garlic and walking onions up over there. A line of gooseberries here below this persimmon. I'm going to try to graft in an Asian variety. Rhubarb plants are coming back. Very cool. Here there is actually lemon balm and then some red mulberries too. And that whole stretch over there is seeds I put in last year to see if they'd sprout this year, and then I can lift them and move them. That's all different trees that I have plans for. More propagations and stuff in the buckets. This site here is going to be another hugel mound, and on that end of it I'm actually going to put a glass so you can see inside the hugel mound. Just build one right here. It'll be wider, not as long as I'd like it, but I'll use the space I've got. I've definitely got plenty of material. Here we've got the purple ice plant, so that's useful. I'm going to make a whole video on just why I like that as far as a nice succulent that works really well, has good uses. And then we'll be able to plant in between there. This is one of the beds I got planted this year already. This one is just a quick early summer crop. We're gonna have, well, we're gonna have some onions in here. Then we're gonna have kale coming up through too. So we may use these as kind of a green onion, a spring onion. Enjoy them earlier in the year, and then the kale as it grows, and then use that too. Here I've got 3 bushes of cherries. So with some onions we planted last year. This is where noodle beans are going this year, with the snake gourds were last year. A lot of stuff, it's so nice to have it ready to go. Apricot tree there. Like I said, this will be the hugel mound. Here I've got 4 apricot trees with some comfrey at the bottom. Another raspberry project I'm working on. These will all be ready to go. Muscadine grapes on some of these are growing back, or are still here. They're going to be springing up shortly here. Very nice. This is a 3-layered part of the garden where we're going to have apricot trees and then currant bushes in between them with strawberries at the bottom. So I'm hoping to get 3 levels of food off of here. This is our fig bed. The brown turkeys I cut back at the end of the year last year. And then we've got catnip. That one's small because I dug up half it and brought it to Bobblehead Homestead. But the yarrow is doing really well. Lavender is always kind of scraggly around here. It should come back. Mugwort, and then lavender, yarrow, and catnip again. This one, we'll see if some of the Malabar spinach reseeds itself, but love that. That's where we grew it last year. Trifoliate citrus I got from a guy up in Missouri, and it'll grow in Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, but it's a citrus you can actually grow here. We enjoy them. There's a lot of seeds. They're a thorny plant. People use them as hedges as well, but we've got a couple of them growing already. Grapes with strawberries at the bottom, wild onions, or walking onions. This is only one wall of it, but there's going to be a giant tunnel, probably with some chairs and table underneath. I've got 2 of the cold hardy kiwis in already, and then I'll plant 4 more and we'll just let them grow up. I'll put some cattle panels across here, let them grow up as just a big arbor. And then on the other side, or for this year, I'll be growing the snake gourds there as well. This is where some peas should be coming up, and the Jerusalem artichokes are planted underneath. Everything else is just covered and waiting for spring here. I'll just show off my hotbox experiment in a video by itself, but where we're at, why we're at, where we're at, and what we plan on doing. And hopefully my rosemary comes back, some chives. Got some peas coming up here, and here's where we put in the fruit trees. These are all plums that were paid for with our YouTube payouts. So that was the first thing I did with my YouTube payouts, was bought 2 pear trees back there and some plums, and then this will be another melon that'll be allowed to sprawl across the area. So everything you see behind me, is new from last year. All that's been put in. That's where we're at. It's so brown right now, look at that. But hopefully there'll be a wall of food later. There's a lot of work still to be done. Heading through here, heading through this area as well. You can see there's a bunch of sheep and a goat up behind the garden. They're keeping everything kind of eaten. And I'm going to just kind of transition some of this. So right now this looks really bare, but remember there's trees planted through here. There's bushes, there's ground covers, and there's going to be the annuals planted in the midst of it all too. Same thing with here. I left a couple persimmon trees. Got these big ones I'll be pruning back, kind of like these. Pretty them up a little bit, remove a lot of this junk, and just kind of transition it. And that's the goal. That's what we're working on. A lot of work to do, but all this will just kind of be transitioned to a degree too through the whole thing. Eventually we want to establish a nice permaculture food forest in some different parts of the property, do some different projects. This could be a garden pond. Hopefully even having some fish for us in here, which is going to be cool. Here's my pear trees, and we're gonna work on taming some of this too. A lot of it was some pretty rough stuff and some stuff that's not really very useful for us. Running a hugel mound across this way, so got that started. Then we've got the ducks, chickens, and guineas through here, and they each have, this is a plum tree in here. Here's a peach, but they've all got some of those to kind of let fertilize and take care of. Out here, this area is just going to mostly be a perennial garden through here too. So you've got some service berries planted. I'm going to put up a fence eventually. We've got these walkways through here. There's going to be a building here. This is a corner post for it, but with water, electricity, it's going to run through here. Brooders, stuff like that. If we got chicks for hatching and stuff, this tree will need to go. But more American gooseberries. Look at that too. This is my chicken proof area. Alright, this is my chicken proof mulch. If you look at this, they've been digging outside of it, so pretty cool. I think this one might be another apple tree. I've got them all named and marked. But we've got a few trees we're growing in here too. I've got a sky blue elderberry that'll be coming in there from Fleming Farm. A friend of mine from Steamit. This one's definitely a pear tree. It's going to be started. And then around here, there's a gentle slope to this property. So I figured, okay, if we've got a slope coming across from all of the, you know, nitrogen manure, high nitrogen manure from the poultry, we'll plant some elderberries here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elderberries. And this one too died back to the ground last year, but now it's coming back. Very cool. And then Russian mulberry, red mulberry, Russian mulberry along here. And we'll see too, because I think I'm putting a greenhouse in this area and working on other projects. And this is where the animals are for right now while we let the front pasture grow up nice and green. But that's kind of where we're at the moment. What we're dealing with, my spring garden tour. Hopefully within even just a month. Yes, my sheep. Yes, my sheep. Hopefully within a month even we'll see some big changes out there. And just watch the whole thing green up. Get really cool. So that's where we're at. That's what we're up to. My sheep are yelling at me. I'm going to go check on them in a minute. But man, a lot of work's been done already. Definitely got a lot to go. And you know, each year is a new growing season, a new opportunity. Definitely got to love the perennials as well. But even as you walk past my bathroom window here, check this out. You know, you can see it's just leaves, it's green, it's a bunch of things getting ready to come outside soon enough. So nice south-facing window there though, it comes in handy. Alright guys, I gotta get to work. Papa out. As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steamit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.